Okay, so today, as I said, we'll be starting on the topic of our functions. So first thing, what you have to know is like, what is a function? Why is it so very important that, whenever you're going for any of your interviews, okay, let it be any company, it doesn't matter, a small company or a big MNC company, whichever company you're going for an interview, whenever they are giving you a question, they expect you to solve the question or to write the code for that question using the concept of functions. Okay, this is like a mandatory thing that is expected from all the programmers. You cannot write the programs as we have been writing so far. What we were doing, we were just normally writing all the codes inside, in our main itself. So we cannot be doing like that. We have to make use of the concept of your functions. So from now onwards, whatever programs I share to you, okay, whatever programs I ask you to work on, make sure that you're using the concept of functions to solve it. Okay, so basically, what do you mean by a function? A function is nothing but a set of instructions. So functions are nothing but a set of instructions used that are given to perform a specific task. So that are given to perform a specific task. Okay, now what are the key points? So set of functions, set of instructions in the sense what? Some set of code. You're going to write some piece of code. What is the purpose? I am going to solve something. Say for example, you want to add some two or three numbers. So for that, you are going to create a function and you are going to write the code inside the function and key. So that in your program, wherever you want to add two numbers, okay, anywhere within the program, wherever you want to add two numbers, you can just give a call to that function. So what is the main advantage? So basically a function is nothing but a set of instructions that are given to perform a specific task. Okay, now these instructions, these instructions that you are going to give, I will be placing these instructions. So placing the instructions inside of a named block. Inside of a named block, or in Python, we call it as a suit. We don't have the concept of blocks. Curly braces is not there, you remember. So we are going to call it as a suit. So it is placing these instructions inside of a named block. So what do you mean by this named block? Every function that you're going to create, you are going to specify the name. So this is nothing but the function name. This name is nothing but the function name. So every function that I'm going to create, I am going to specify a name for it, and inside that name I am going to keep a set of instructions. Right. So now why this is important? Why companies are very specific that you have to create functions, or why is this topic? See, so far also you have been writing the programs. So without the concept of functions, I was able to do all my programs. So now why should I learn it? So the one very very important reason, okay, one very important reason, or what we call as an advantage of a function. What do you call as an advantage of your functions is code reusability. So, what is the main advantage of a function? Code reusability. That is, you can write a function once, and whenever required, whenever required, you can just call the function. So, you can write the function and keep once, and whenever you want to that execute, whenever you have the necessary to execute that, you can just call the functions. So write the functions once, and you can call the function. So you can call the function and execute it, n number of times. N number of times. There is no limitation at all. There is no limitation at all. So whenever you want to add two numbers, see, I'm saying I'm going to create a function called addition. So wherever I want to add two numbers, I can simply call the function. I can call the function 10 times, 20 times, 100 times also within a program. It is purely my wish. So I don't have to write the code again and again. For adding two numbers, whatever the code is required, I don't have to write it again and again. See, for example, how to add two numbers? I'm just going to say A. Create the first number. So A is equal to, I will say int of input of. So read the first number. Then second thing, what you're going to say? Read the second number. I'm going to get the B value. And then I'm going to say sum is equal to A plus B. Then I will say French. So let us use a format string. So here I'm going to say A plus B. Okay, A plus B is equal to, I'm just going to give the sum value here. I want to print it in this format. So now when I'm going to execute this program, just this in the notes section. Yeah. When I want to execute the program, I have to give the numbers for A, number for B. Then when I run this program, so what is that it is going to happen? It is going to add these two numbers and it is going to give me another result of it. Now after this, I'm writing a few more lines of code. Okay, a few more lines of code is there. Then again at this position, I want to add two numbers again. A different set of two numbers. So how to write it? Again, I have to create everything. Again, I have to create everything. So in between, I'm writing some other piece of code. So I'm just saying print some lines of code. I'm just giving a small run. So now in this place, I want to again add two numbers and print the result. So what you're going to do, again create two variables, get the value from the user, submit, and then print the result. So when you're running it, totally, I'm going to provide four sets because two inputs here, two inputs here. So now you're going to run the program. See, so first time it is giving you, then some other lines of code is getting executed. Then again, I'm adding two numbers. But you see how the code is getting repeated. Same lines of code. It is doing the same work. But again, I'm writing it one time here. I'm writing it one time here. Maybe in my program, throughout
மேம்
this program. Yes, ma.
மேம் கொஞ்சம் ஃபாண்ட் சைஸ் சேஞ்ச் பண்ணுங்க மேம் சரியா தெரிய மாட்டேங்குது மேம் பிளர்ரடா இருக்கு மேம்
இப்போ ஓகேவா?
ஓகே மேம்
Done. Thanks, Ra. Okay, so what is going to happen? The same line of code is repeated in two different sections. So redundancy of code. We call this process as redundancy of code. So code reusability enna to avoid writing the same code again and again. So the second advantage what I get is I can avoid code redundancy. So what do you mean by redundancy? Writing the same line of code again and again. So writing the same line of code or instructions again and again can be avoided. Can be avoided. So this is another advantage I get. So because of this redundancy, what is going to happen? Because of this advantage, what is the other thing I get? Size of the program. Size of my program is smaller in comparison. So without function concept you're writing, it is going to be like that. Imagine I want to add two numbers some 5 or 6 times in my program. So this 4 lines of code is going to be repeated 5 or 6 times. Let us say 5 times. So 5 into 4. That much of same lines. Redundancy is there. So when I use the concept of functions, I will write it only once. So what is that? Write function only once and you can call the function. So whenever you want the addition to be executed, you can call the function and execute it n number of times. There is no limits at all. So that is another advantage for you. So size of the program is going to get smaller in comparison with not using the functions, in comparison with writing programs. So writing programs without the concept of functions, without implementing your functions. So this is going to be another advantage for me. So what are the things? Code reusability. That is, write it once, use it n number of times. Avoid code redundancy. So what do you mean by the word redundancy? The same line of code being repeated again and again can be avoided. Because of this redundancy, we have solved it. The other advantage we get is the size of the program is going to get smaller for us. Okay, what else is there? What other advantage it offers? One another advantage your function offers is it increases the readability of the program. Increases the readability of your program. Now again, what does it mean by increasing the readability of a program? See, when I look at a program, it should look simple enough that I can understand it by looking at it. If you have the same lines of code again, it is little confusing. When I look at the program, it is little confusing for me to understand what exactly happens or how the flow is going to go. So when I am going to use the concept of functions, what I am going to do, I am going to break the task. So the entire program, each and every task, I'm going to write it separately. So this allows me, when I have a look at the program, it gives me a much clearer picture of what the program is, how the program is to be executed, how the control flow is going to be going for me. So that is the main advantage. Another advantage of a functions is it increases the readability of the program. Now, last but very important, another advantage what I have with my functions is that it makes debugging easier. So it makes the concept of debugging. So what is debugging? It is nothing but finding the error and fixing it. Finding where the error is and fixing it is what we call as debugging. So debugging the program becomes easy. Program is easier when when I am going to make use of the concept of functions. Okay, now how do I say this? See, your entire program, for a simple example, you know what all the arithmetic operators I have. I have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, flow division, exponent, modulo. So I have so many different operators. I want to create a simple calculator. I want to create a simple calculator. So instead of writing the code inside fully completely in a main, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the functions. So for doing the addition, separate function. For doing the subtraction, separate function. So I have a separating for multiplication. I have a separating for division. So like that, I am going to divide the task. So what is the task here? Creating a simple arithmetic calculator. That is our task. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to divide this task into different functions or different modules. What is the advantage I get? Suppose when I am running the program, I am seeing that there is a mistake in division operation. I feel there is some error coming in the division or the output is not correct. So I don't have to check the entire code for that. Why should I waste my time in checking all addition, subtraction and all? The mistake is there in the division. So when you're writing with it functions, you can go directly and check only that particular function. No need for you to check the other programs. Why? Because I am breaking everything into separate functions or separate modules and creating. So that is another big advantage for me of why I should make use of the concept of functions. So because of all these reasons, that is why wherever you go, they give more importance to the concept of your functions. Right. So now, having said this, why to use your function and what is a function? What are the different types of function in Python? So what are the different types of functions I have in Python? Okay, let us try to analyze this. What are the different types I have is one, predefined function. Predefined, it is also called as built-in functions. Predefined, or I'm going to also call this as a built-in functions. So now question comes is, what is a built-in function? You have been making use of this function so long. What are the different predefined or built-in functions you are familiar with? One, most frequently used function, print. Wherever you are typing, can you execute any program without the print? No, because I will not be able to see the output. Whatever I give inside the print, it is going to be printed in my output. So that is the purpose of my print. So did you create print? No, it is already available for me. So predefined or built-in functions, these functions, okay, these functions comes along with the programming language. So they come along with the programming language. You are not creating it. You are not responsible for it. So it comes along with the programming language itself. We are just going to make use of it. So in a program, is there any restriction? How many times you have to use the print? No. I can use the print function a number of times. So they have created the print function only once. But within the program, we are calling it n number of times. So that is the advantage of your functions. So print is one of the function. Then input. Here I'm using input of. What do you mean by input? To read the value from the user. I want to ask the value dynamically from the user. I want to get the value at runtime. So what is the function I have for that? Input. Then here in this example itself, see what are the other function? There is another function we make use of called as int. So what is the int of? So whatever is the value, it's a type conversion function. I am using it to convert the number into an integer and then store it inside the variable. So again, it is a predefined, it is a built-in function for me. So like this, we have been seeing so many different types of functions. In this program itself, I am making use of three functions. So same way, you remember ID to get the address. I have a function called as type to find the data type of a variable. Then we have used so many functions. We have seen so many string functions. We make use of a function called as len. To find the length, we have a function called as count. We have a function called as isAlpha, isDigit, ilnum, alnum. We have a function called as join, split. So many functions we have been seeing. All these comes under the category of a predefined or built-in functions. So same way in type conversion itself, we saw float of, we saw bool of, str of. So many built-in functions. Python is one programming language which is very rich in your predefined functions. Have a lot of predefined functions that are available. Right. Now, the second type of functions. The second type of functions what we have is a user-defined function. Is a user-defined function. So what do you mean by a user-defined function? These functions, these functions are created by the programmer. So these functions are created by the programmer according to the requirement of the program. So based on what you want, based on what you want to do in the program, you are going to create your own functions. You're going to create your own functions. That is what you call as a user defined functions. So functions that are created by the programmer is what we are going to call as a user defined function. Right. Now, we will be studying in depth about the user defined function. Predefined, wherever we are using, wherever we require, we have the function. When I'm using it, I'm telling you about what the function is, right? So now we will concentrate more on user defined category. So other than that, what other things I have? I have something called as module functions. I have something which is called as module functions. Now, what do you mean by a module function? Okay. Now, can you tell me what do you mean by a module? You remember we have seen some modules. Okay, one of the very common module, do you remember? We saw a module called as random. So module example. Okay, we saw a module called as random. So inside this module, what was present? Inside this module, what was present? They had put a lot of predefined functions. Inside this module function, predefined functions. So what they used to do? They used to create a function. They used to create a function and place it inside the module. What they used to do? They used to create a function and place the function inside the module. So what is the advantage of it? What is the advantage of it? So whoever wants to use that function, what you are going to do? You are going to import the module and make use of the function inside it. And you are going to make use of the functions that are present within the module. This is how I'm going to do it. So what I'm going to do, I am going to create a module. So what exactly is a module? Module is nothing but a Python file. Module is nothing but a simple Python file inside which you will be creating functions. Okay, you will be creating lot of functions and we will place all these functions inside a file and we will give a name for that file. So whoever wants to make use of the functions, what they will do? They will import the module and then they will make use of the functions within it. So what is the advantage I get because of this? Advantage I get is functions can be shared across the projects. Functions, same function, I can make use of it across the project, across different files within the project, across different or multiple files of the project. That is, see, module is a function. I can make use of the module function in my system where I'm typing my Python program. You also can do the same, can't you? What do you have to do? Import the module, then make use of the function within that. So same way, we are going to create our own functions. We are going to create our own functions. That is what we are going to do. We are going to create our own modules. So what is this we are going to do? Create our own modules. So first thing is we are going to create our own module like random. Okay, like random. And inside that module, we are going to create functions and place it. So inside the module, what are we going to do? We are going to create functions and place it in there. So suppose, let us say, there is a project in which both of us are working. I am also working in the same project. You guys are also working in the same project. So I am creating a function. You want to make use of that function in your code, in the program that you are writing. How can I share it? I can share my function to you with the help of my module. So what I'm going to do, modules are nothing but Python files. It is also a file which is going to have the same file extension .py. It will also have a file extension called as .py only. So we will create our own file. Inside this file, whatever function I plan to, whatever function I am creating, I will put all the function inside this. Okay, and then when you require to make use of the function, what is that you're going to do? You will be importing the module and then you can make use of the functions. So advantages, we can share the functions across multiple files of a project. So this type of function is what we call as a module function. Then what else? Then what else? I have a set of function which is called as a lambda functions. Lambda functions. So what exactly are lambda functions? So lambda functions, we call them as nameless functions. We also call them as nameless functions, or we call them as anonymous function. So what do you mean by the word anonymous? I don't know who is that person. Say for example, your college is there. Somebody is making an anonymous donation to your college. So what do you mean by that? Somebody is giving you a donation, but he or she does not want to say the name. They don't want a publicity. I'm saying I don't want to say my name, but I will do something. So that type of function is what we call as a nameless function. See, normally whenever we create a function, what we do? We have a function name. Inside the function name only, we will be giving the set of instructions. But lambda functions are anonymous or nameless functions. Purpose of this function is one-time usage. One-time usage. That type of functions is what we call as a lambda functions. Yes, we will be studying about this also. Then we have one more category which is called as recursive functions. We call them as a recursive functions. So recursion, or very commonly known as recursion. So what do you mean by recursion? Recursion is nothing but a function calling itself. Calling itself. That is what you call as a recursion. So recursive function means I'm going to create a function. Inside that function, I am going to call the same function. So creating such type of functions is what we call as recursive functions. So these are all the different types of functions that I have in my Python. So these are the things what we are going to be studying one by one. So we will be studying about all these things one by one. So as I said, built-in functions. Built-in functions or predefined functions. Anyway, we are explaining them when we are going to make use of it. So we are going to be starting with the user-defined function. So this is the category that we are going to be starting with, or what we are going to concentrate more on. Right. Now, user-defined, as I said, programmer created functions. Programmer created functions. So remember, there is a syntax of how to create a function. Having a function, how exactly am I supposed to create a function? Def. Def is the keyword. So here, any user defined function, okay, the keyword that we are going to make use of is def. This keyword is used to define a function. Used to define a function, or we call it as a function definition. So to provide function definition. Call it any way you want to. Okay, so def is a keyword that is used to define a function, or we can also say that as to provide the function definition. Right, so what is the syntax? Def followed by the function name, followed by the function name, anything, any name you want to give. You remember, just make sure that you follow all the rules properly. I told you, name is an identifier. So name is an identifier. So make sure that you are following all the rules. Like start with an alphabet or an underscore symbol. So you cannot use blank spaces. You cannot use special characters. You cannot use keywords. So just remember all those rules. Right. Function name followed by the parenthesis. So the parenthesis represents my function. Always remember, the parenthesis represents my function. So wherever I see a parenthesis, I can be say that yes, this is a function. Right. Inside the parenthesis, we are going to specify something called as parameters. Parameter list. Now, what do you mean by parameters are nothing but variables? Parameters are also nothing but variables. So variables that required by this function. Variables that may be required for this particular function's execution. I'm saying I want to add two numbers. So what are the two numbers? I can specify them here in the parameter list. So parameter list. So I can have more than one. List in the sense not the literal data type list. I meant how many ever variables you want, you can create it. So don't get confused with the word list. So here let us just keep it as parameters then. So parameters you can specify. Okay, we will discuss more on parameters now. So after the closing of the parenthesis, you have to give a colon. Okay, then of course, I told you we don't have the curly braces like this. So what we are going to do? Indentation. Same thing what we did with if else condition. Same thing what we did with looping. That is one tab space or four empty spaces. That is the normal thing we'll follow for the indent purpose. Right. Then you will write the piece of code. What is the purpose of creating the function? That code you will write it here. Okay, so before giving that code, we have one option. What is that option is, we call this as a documentation string. We call this as what? Documentation string. So what is this documentation string is? It gives you a briefing. It gives you a briefing about the function. About the function that you are creating. Like, what is this function? What is the purpose of you creating this function? What is this function going to do? Like that, description. Description, briefing, or what we call as a description about the function what we are going to create. That can be provided with the help of the triple quoted strings. So how you are going to give it? With the help of a triple quoted string. And we call this as what? Call this as a documentation string. So remember, whenever you are writing a function, the first line of a function can have something called as a documentation string. So what is the purpose of it? It is used to give a description about the function or a briefing about the function. Okay, now what is the very important thing you have to remember with regards to the documentation string is, it is optional. It is optional. It is not compulsory. It is not compulsory that every function you create, you have to give a documentation string. No, but it is a good programming practice. If you do that, it is good. That's all. But it is not compulsory that you have to give. Right. After the documentation string, you will give the code. Code or the instructions. Instructions that the function needs to execute. Function needs to execute. So that you are going to mention. Code, of course, you can have n number of lines. Any number of code you want, you can write it inside the. Right. So now, let us say here our example. Let us take here our example. I told you this is a, instead of writing it again and again like this, I want to create it a function. So what is the syntax I said? I said for creating a function, the syntax is def followed by the name of the function. So here I am going to call this as addition. This function I am going to name it as addition. Then open close parenthesis. I am not giving any parameters. See, parameters are also optional. Parameters are also optional. If you want, you can give. Otherwise, empty open and close parenthesis. Then followed by the colon. Then whatever you want to write inside the function, what did I say? One tab space. One tab space it has to maintain. Right. Done. Now, my function is created. My function is done. So, since my function is done, is this enough? Shall I run the program? Okay, I'm running the program. Let us take all these things out. I don't want any of these things. Right. So, yes, two inputs are there. So, you're just going to give two inputs. So, let us say 20 and 30, the two inputs. Run it. What happens? I guess my net is slow. Okay. So, the code is accepted. It is not generating any error. See, there is no error anywhere. The code says it is accepted, but I am not able to see any output at all. I mean, nothing is getting printed. But I have a print statement. I have a function. I am getting the inputs. I have provided the inputs. Everything I have done, but still I am not able to see the output of a program. So always remember, any function that you are going to create. Okay, any user defined function that you are going to create consists of two parts. So always remember, any user defined function that I am going to create consists of two parts. So what are the two parts? You have something called as a function, definition, and then we have something which is called as function calling. So what are the two things we have? We have something called as a function definition, and the other one is called as function calling. So every user defined function that you are going to create, okay, every user defined function I'm going to create will definitely consist of these two parts. So this syntax, what you have done is for your function definition. This is the syntax for your function definition. So what do you mean by definition? We are going to create a function, writing the code for the function. So function definition basically means creating creating a function, creating a function by, okay, specifying a name for it, and write the codes, write the instructions, and mention the instructions, or write the instructions. So creating a function by specifying a name and writing the instructions. That is what you call as a function definition. So when you're going to define a function, you're just simply going to create a function. So always remember, until you call the function, until you call the function, whatever code you have written inside the function will never get executed. So what do you mean by function calling? Function calling is done to execute a function. Execute the instructions, execute the instructions written within the function. So what is the purpose of a function call? When you call the function only, the code that you have written inside is going to get executed. So this is the syntax for the function definition. So how I should call the function? How I should call the function? So what is the syntax for function calling? What you're going to do is, there are different ways in which you are going to call. The first one is, whatever the function name you have mentioned, give the function name, open bracket, close bracket. That's it. Okay, this is first method. Let us say this is method 1. Okay, what are you going to do? Just simply call the function name. When you will use this, when we will use this type of thing is when there is no parameter. So function calling when there is no parameters. When I have not mentioned any parameters, what I'm going to do? Simply call the function, open and close parenthesis. That's it. No need to mention anything inside. Otherwise, what is the other way of doing it? Same way, you are going to say function name. Within this, you are going to give the values. And then inside this parenthesis, we are going to give the values. Now, what is this values? I said parameters are what? Parameters are nothing but variable names. Parameters are nothing but variables. Parameters are what? Nothing but variables. So, we will give a value for a variable, right? So, where we will give the parameter, where we will give the value for these kind of variables is whenever I am going to call the function. So, inside this parenthesis, in case if you have created any variables during the definition, this variable's value you will give during the function calling. So, you can use either this syntax or this one. So any one among these two is used to call the function. So remember, only when you are going to call the function is going to get executed. That is, the statements you are returning inside the function is going to be working. So here what I have to do, I have to call this function. So what is the name of my function? Addition. So no parameters, so open and close brackets. That's it. So remember, this half, this portion is my function definition, and this portion, what I have here, is my function. So now when you run the program, see the two values are still there. So this 20 and 30 is going to go to my A and B variables respectively. Then it is going to calculate the sum. Then it is going to produce me the output. So what it says the value is 50. So only when you call the function, the code written inside the function is going to be executed for me. Okay, now what is another advantage of a function? Another advantage of a function is you can call the function n number of times. I said that, so there is no restriction on the number of times you are going to call a function. Okay, say for example, yeah. Okay, this is my function calling first time. Side, I'm going to say enter first number. Then here, I hope you guys remember how my input function is going to be working. I can give some prompt messages also, or without that also I can run. It is my choice. Now, let us say I'm going to call the function. Okay, I'm going to call the function again 2 times, again 3 times. So write the code only once. You have written the code only once. Whenever you want, you can keep calling the function. Every time when you call, what will happen? The control will go here. Whatever you have given inside is going to get executed for us. Say for example, let us run this. See, first time. Have to be careful on. It's supported. Let me simply say sum is equal to then comma sum. I've used Python 3 version, right? Then it's a problem. Okay, we'll see. Wait, give the first number, give the second number. So first time the sum function, this is over. Now again, second time I'm calling. So what will happen? Again it will go inside, it will start from the beginning. So it will say enter the first number. Okay, give some value. Enter the second number, give some value. Done. So second time it has calculated. Now again, third time I'm calling. So again it will go inside. It will start working the same thing. So this time, see. So write the code only once, and whenever you want to add two numbers, I'm simply going to keep on calling this again and again. So the main advantage of a function is, right. So now you know what is a function and how exactly to create a user defined function. Create our own user defined functions. Right. So in the next class, I'm going to discuss with you about parameters, about the return type of a function, okay, and various other aspects. What are the different types of arguments that I can give, that is different types of parameters I can pass for a function. So these tomorrow session we will be discussing on these topics.